Hey y'all, it's Diane with Shawcraft One and my little barn door, and today we're gonna play with our sprayed napkins. Sprayed, painted, watercolored, whichever. So we're gonna play with these and make some things out of them. We'll get to as many things as we can in our time slot. So the first thing I want to make is a pocket, and this is my book that I had coffee dyed, the whole book, when we did our coffee dyeing series. So I want to use a couple of these pages to make a pocket. So let's find some good pages. I just want pages with words for this particular project. So I think these two pages I'm going to go ahead and glue together. So I'm just going to take my little glue stick here and get some glue on it. I love the purple glue because you can actually see where you're gluing and make sure you get it all and you don't miss any spots. I don't worry about the outside edges because I always cut those away anyways. So I just kind of want the middle parts glued together, okay? And I do it in the book because it's a little easier to manage it when you do it when it's still in the book. Okay, so I got that one glued together, and then I'm going to need one more. So I'm going to go ahead and try to tear this one out. Okay, so that one's glued together, and I want to make sure, I'm not going to glue those two together because I like how coffee dyed those are. Okay, let's glue these two together. All right. Okay. And get those two glued together. And I'm going to go ahead and attempt to tear these out of the book if I can. It's being a little difficult today. Okay, so we've got those two. I put my little book back over to the side. Close up my glue. And then we're going to grab the tear ruler. And we're going to tear off the edges. Okay, because I just want the words. Okay, just like that. So I'm going to finish them and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got them torn. I left this because I like the coffee dyed part, and I may leave that. I haven't decided yet, but I can always tear it off later if I don't want it. So for this will be the back part of the pocket. And so for this one, let's see what we want for this one. Okay, let's do one of these for the back part. So I'm going to pull out the one that's the brightest. Okay, so basically I'm just going to take my Mod Podge and soak my pocket in the Mod Podge, or my book page. It's not a pocket yet. Okay, get quite a bit on there, and then I'm going to take my napkin and I'm just going to lay it right on top, and then I want it to crinkle some because I want the crinkled. So I want it bunched up. Whoops, not that much. But I want it bunched up a little bit because I want the wrinkles. Now, when you do this part, try not to rub, more or less pat, because it will prevent you from tearing your napkin. You may have to rub a little, but it's better to get, a lot of glue and just kind of pat it in, and then you can go back in and make sure it's good and laid down. But see how it's giving us that texture? Okay, hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing okay. Let me bend it down just a little bit. Okay. Now, we want to make sure we get the edges sealed really well. So I'm going to go around my edges really good. And I am going to rub just very easily, very lightly. You don't want to do too much. And that way it seals those edges. Now you can sew on it if you want to. I may, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Now I'm going to take a little more glue and kind of go in the middle and make sure I get out any air bubbles that might be in there. Alright, now I'm going to take my paintbrush and see if I can pull away. Nope, it's not going to work. I'm going to dry it first, and then we'll come back and cut it out. Hang on. Okay, it's fairly dry. It's still a little damp in spots, so I went ahead and cut it out because you know how to cut things out. How boring is that? So anyways, so I've gone ahead and cut it out, and then what we need to do is we need to pick something to go on this. And we're not going to need the whole thing because it's going to be a pocket. But we're going to go ahead and put napkin over the whole thing because we can make 2 pockets out of it. So I think what I'll do is, let me see. Yeah. No, I want my pocket to be a little bit taller. Maybe there. So I am just going to, nope, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put my napkin on. So I'm going to do that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I was going to show you, I've already put my Mod Podge down. I chose one of the ink sprayed napkins, and we're just going to lay this one down here and kind of crinkle it up onto our book page. Okay, I want it kind of wrinkly. And then I'm just going to press that in. And again, I'm just going to dab my glue over the top, trying not to tear the napkin. But if you do tear it, it's okay. You can always put something on top of it or fix it, whatever. If you do tear it, you can actually add a little more napkin on top of it and cover up the tear. I really like the ink sprayed ones. They're very vibrant. Okay, so I'm just kind of trying to push the napkin and get some good texture on there. And then I'll go around the edge really well and make sure that I've got a good seal. Okay. I'm going to dry this one and I'll be right back. Okay, so we've got this one dry and it's going to be the pocket. Okay, so I think I want my pocket to be about that tall. And you can, you know, kind of bend. You know, you just have to warm it up a little and just bend it back into place after you dry it. So you just warm it up with your hands and kind of bend it and soften it somewhat. Like so. Okay. And with this one, since it's going to be a pocket, I just bent the napkin around to the back and glued it down instead of cutting it. Okay. So now, I'm thinking I'm just going to tear about right here so I can get my ruler the correct way. So I'm just going to tear that in half. Whoops. Oops, some of our napkin tore. That's okay. And then we just need to decide which piece of this we want to use as the pocket. Okay, so there's that one. I kind of like this one better, and I think the way I want to do it is maybe put it like right there because I like the bottom of that. I don't know. I kind of don't like the bottom of that. Let's just go ahead and tear that bottom off. I said we'd decide, so now we've decided. I don't want the pocket to be too tall. But we're not going to throw that away because that can go in collage or a scrap or, you know, a cluster or whatever. Okay. This was the one we decided we liked. Okay. So we're going to line that up like that. Now, before we do this, before we put this together, I think I just want to make it, it's very simple. Let me trim this up a little right here because that's going to drive me crazy. There we go. I think maybe I just want to stamp a pretty flower or something on here. Let me see what stamps I have. Hang on. Okay, I have a little dragonfly and this cute little bird. I don't know where I got that. And then I have this one. And then there's this one. I've never used this, so if we use this one, I might use this on the very back. Let's just try it and see. But I'm going to stamp it off on something else first. I have this. So let's just see what we can do with this. And I think I'm going to stamp it in black. I'm going to do the Ranger Archival Ink Jet Black. Okay, so let's just, I wonder if I can get this to stick to a stamp block. It looks like somebody's taped something to it. That's not sticky at all. I don't think I can get it to stick to a stamp block. Okay, well we're just gonna go for it and see what we get with it. Let's just do it this way. And who knows, black might be too much, so that's why I'll stamp off on a scrap piece first just to kind of see how it's gonna do. Where are we on our time? Okay, we're all right. Okay, so let's just see how we do here. Be careful when you do this that you don't move your stamp, because then you'll get a blurred stamp. Oh, that didn't do very well at all, did it? Huh. Okay. Let's try a different color. Let's try the Dusty Concord. Let's see how we do with that one. And I'm just going right over that black ink because I think I want a little bit of that black mixed in with the purple just to give it a little bit darker color. Okay, all right, here we go. I'm going to turn it sideways and lay it down again, and I'm just going to press down, making sure not to move the stamp. But I'm going to try and press down in all areas so that maybe we can get a better stamp with it. My black ink might just be getting too dry. Oh yeah, that's a much better. Yep, okay, I think we're gonna go with the purple. So, let's just go for it. I'm gonna lay this on top of here. I'm gonna ink up my stamp again. Again with the Dusty Concord. Make sure I get everything good and inked. Hopefully it turns out good. Okay, so we're going to go this way. We're just going to lay this right down on top. I might should have scooted the stamp up some so that you could see, you know, the details of it over the pocket, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Okay. Again, making sure I'm not moving the stamp. I'm holding it in place as I'm rubbing. Okay. Fingers crossed. Oh. It didn't turn out good. You can't even see it. But I do like the effects that it gave. Let me think. So maybe stamping's not an option with this because maybe it's too busy for the stamp to take. But I'm not going to throw this away because I can use that in something. So I'm going to put that to the side. Let me think about this for a second. Okay, so I've pulled out some other stuff. We're just going to take a completely different route, but I'm okay with that. Alright, so we're just going to decorate it. But if you feel like this is too bright, there's a couple of things that you can use to tone it down. You can either take some gesso and brush some gesso over it, or you can take some coffee and brush some coffee over it. Or you can take ink and brush some ink over it, like some darker ink, or, you know, let's just do it and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you think it's too much, just, you know, rub this ink over the top of those two bright spots. And it just tones it down a little bit and makes it so that it's not so bright. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges. I'm going to do it with the Dusty Concord. Because it'll be a little easier to do it now while it's not decorated versus trying to do it while it's fully decorated. Okay. All right. So for me, this is still a little bit too much. I want to do something there, but I haven't figured out yet what. But I think I'm going to maybe make it look like there's a bouquet of flowers or something maybe coming out of the pocket. I don't know. Haven't decided. We will get there. Okay, but I know what I'm going to do here. So I had this little piece that was just like a little leftover in my stash of little leftovers. It's just a little scrap. So I'm just going to trim it up some because it's not even. think that's better. We'll get rid of these. And then I think maybe I need to ink the edges of this one just a little. Just to make it stand out a little more. Okay, yeah, I think that's better. All right, and I think I'm just going to kind of layer this on here. And I have these, they're just little labels that I had printed off. And they printed the wrong way. They're supposed to look vintagey, but my ink was running low. So you can see where I ran out of ink. So, but I kept them because I like the color of them. And, you know, I can use them in a project. These maybe not so much, but these ones I can use. So I didn't have to throw them away. So I'm thinking maybe just do some kind of layering here and make like a little collage like that on the pocket front. So let's do that first. Where are we on our time? Oh my goodness, we have to hurry. All right, I'm going to do the front of the pocket first. I think this is actually from the Bird Waltz paper line. I think that's Blue Fern Studios. Okay, so we're just going to put him right there. This just kind of helps me get the extra glue without wiping my ink off at the edges. Okay, and then I think we want to ink the edges of this one just a little. Okay, and then it can go there. And this is just printed on cheap Walmart copy paper. Nothing spectacular. Okay, so I'll put that one right there. Get my extra glue. And then we'll put this one kind of right there. And I don't think it needs to be inked because it has the black edge. Okay, we'll lay that one down in there. And then I thought we might could put like a little flower on there with maybe a little cheesecloth. I've got some colored cheesecloth. So maybe a little colored cheesecloth in behind there. Let's do that. Okay, and I think I want to cut this down a little. And just kind of rough up the edges there some. So I'm just going to lay that down right there. Actually, oh no, hold on a minute. Okay, I almost had a panic attack. Oops. Do y'all know what that was? It was the water out of where I put my Mod Podge brushes. Oh my goodness, that was such a mess. How it missed my project, I don't know, but I am very grateful that it missed it. So anyways, we're going to put a little bit of Fabri-Tac right here. Just a little, just to hold that cheesecloth in place. I'm going to move that jar because I keep almost hitting it. I'm just going to scoot it all the way back. Okay, we're going to lay that down there, and then I'm going to use hot glue for this. And I'm just going to do it like right in the center. Okay, glue strings. Okay, so let's put him right here. Okay. Oh my goodness, I have hot glue strings everywhere. Okay, all right. So that's going to be our pocket front. So we're going to set that to the side. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not loving this. I don't know what it is, but it's just not it's not doing it for me. So we're gonna work on it a little bit. So I'm gonna get my gesso and a little brush. And we're just going to see what we can do to tone this down. It's just too much for me, I think. So, we're just going to see if we can make it not be so much. Because I'm just not loving it. And I don't have to worry about going down too far because we're going to have our pocket on here. But I think adding this gesso will lighten it up some and make me a little happier with it. So see, you play with your project, and if you don't love it, keep working on it till you do love it. 'Cause that's what I do. Okay. Now, don't think I'm crazy, but I'm thinking I want some thick gesso right in the middle. And there's a reason why I do. But I love the texture that I'm getting out of this. Okay. Let me dry this and let's see where we get with it. Hang on. Okay, I've got my gesso dry, and I think I want to add a little bit of the spun sugar. So I'm just using this little makeup brush, and I'm not, putting it everywhere. I'm just kind of adding a little bit of color to it, just to make it not be so stark white. Okay, so we got a little pink in there. Let me dry it. Okay, I've got it dried, and I think I have figured out what I want to do. I think I want to add some of this. I just want to spread it out a little. I don't think we're going to get to a tag. I've taken the whole time doing this pocket, and it usually doesn't take me this long, but for some reason I just struggled with this background. That's okay. You live and learn, right? Okay. So I'm going to put this down here, and that's why I kind of wanted that, the gessoed background so that it wouldn't blend in so much. I think that's what I needed. And then I think I want to put this here, because then I can have this here, and it looks like there's a flower coming up out of the pocket. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I think that'll be cute. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to trim this off a little right over here. Okay, and we're going to move this. And I have this spray adhesive from Beacon that I got at the dollar store, the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to spray a little bit of this on here. I need a scrap piece of paper to put behind it. So I'm just going to spray this on. And I'm going to lay this down into that glue. And it works really well. And it'll hold that down until I get my flour glue down on there. Okay, so now I'm going to put some glue on my flour. And I'm going to put quite a lot of glue because it's going to glue over that creepy cloth. So I want to make sure it goes through the creepy cloth and gets a good hold. So I'm putting a lot. Not like I don't always put a lot. Ooh, I almost put it on upside down. Y'all, what is wrong with me today? Okay, so we're going to put that right there. I'm going to let it dry. Okay, and then once it dries, then I can lift up this creepy cloth so that it doesn't look so stuck down, because I want it to be a little bit 3D and have that texture to it. Okay, I'm just going to keep pressing that down. Alright, now before I put these together, I want to ink the edges of this. I'm just trying to decide. I guess I'll do the Dusty Concord, since that's what I inked the edge of the pocket part with. Oh yeah, I think that's going to blend it a little better too. And I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom too, even though I'm going to have a pocket over it. You know, if a piece of it's sticking out or whatever, I don't want to be able to, I want to be able to see the color. Okay. Okay, I just need to keep pressing this down until it grabs good on the edges. Okay. And then we're going to get rid of that and add our pocket part to it. Can y'all see okay? Hopefully you can. Alright, so I'm going to use Fabri-Tac for the pocket just to make sure I get a good hold. And again, you can sew if you want to. I'm just not going to. So we're going to go all the way around, like so. And then just lay our pocket on there. Get it lined up good. And I really don't mind if it's not, you know, lined up perfectly, because I like the imperfections. Goodness, we're getting Fabri-Tac everywhere. I think this side's a little bit long. We're probably going to have to trim this off. So let me wipe that and trim it a little. Okay, make sure we're good and glued. I got a mess. Okay, so there's our pocket, and we're at 30 something minutes, so 32 minutes. So I'm going to end it here. We'll come back in the next video and do some more stuff with our napkin one, since we struggled so hard, or I struggled so hard with this one. But there's the finished pocket. Super cute. And you can, you know, put a tag or something in there. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of some different things that you can do with your napkins. And we'll come back in the next video and make a tag or something. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment box below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Big hugs.